Well, migrants held at immigration detention centers in the valley are being moved from the U.S. to other countries.
It's a new immigration program known as the Guatemala Asylum Cooperative Agreement. Channel 5's Valerie Gonzalez explains how it works.
The process is quick and basically shifts the asylum claim to another country. Advocates question the speed of this process. It was a lucky phone call.
We didn't realize that the Guatemala Asylum Cooperative Agreement was being rolled out in the Valley until we were contacted by other nonprofits and other attorneys.
Richard Newman is an attorney for San Antonio Region Justice for Our Neighbors based in Harlingen. Newman knew the U.S. government announced the Asylum Cooperative Agreements in November of last year. According to that Federal Registry entry, GACA is part of the Safe Third Country Agreements with Central American countries. The way it works is by barring a new arriving migrant from applying for asylum in the U.S. and sending them to a country that will provide access to a full and fair procedure for determining their claim. Migrants who enter the U.S. at the port of entry or through them can be placed in this program. When they get placed in it, Newman says it violates due process.
And now, under this Guatemala Asylum Cooperative Agreement, they are arrested and placed in the tents in Donna, Texas, and they are not given access to an attorney. They never see a judge. They're never given a bond, and they're simply processed as fast as possible. They're fingerprinted, and their information is taken, and they're sent to Guatemala.
Before this program started, thousands were still being placed in MPP, a program that's drawn criticism for sending migrants back to Mexico. Newman says they're hearing new outcries.
So people that are in the GACO program would love to be in the MPP program.
Recently, two sets of parents, a teenage mom and her child, and a disabled man and his son, were the latest to be affected by the new procedures. Newman filed a lawsuit against the federal government to go before a federal judge to try to take them out of the program. But before the paperwork got to the judge, the man and his son were sent to Guatemala. The mom and her child were to suffer the same fate.
It's a miracle that they were able to still be here, because Border Patrol had them slotted to fly out the day before our hearing, but for weather. Inclement weather prevented the plane from taking off, from what I understand.
The government decided to take them off GACA, but not by court order. Instead, Newman says they were placed in ICE detention facilities. That is the best outcome, he says.
You're going to get a fair shot in court where you can explain your asylum case and possibly be granted asylum. That's all we're asking for, is a fair opportunity to be granted asylum.
Other immigrant advocates sued the U.S. for this policy at the beginning of this year, and it's still working its way through the federal courts. Today, CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan said during a hearing that the U.S. has repatriated about 1,000 people so far under these agreements. In the studio, Valerie Gonzalez, Channel 5 News at 6.